knew and expected that Darnell Wright was going to get a contract extension, but little did we know that the Chicago Bears were going to open the bag to give him the most guaranteed money of an offensive lineman ever. We're going to talk about it all and more, but you know what we got to do first? What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, I love it when a Bear earns their contract and they get paid, and there's no doubt about it that they earned it through the way that they performed and that they continue to develop, and that's what happened today. The Chicago Bears gave Darnell Wright a 4-year, $116 million contract with $93 million guaranteed. He is now the highest paid right tackle in NFL history. This locks him in throughout what's supposed to be his prime. Of course, it removes any questions about his contract, any questions about the right tackle position. And this is what we've seen from Ryan Poles before. This is the area and time of training camp that he likes to give those extensions out. We saw it with Kyler Gordon, we saw it with DJ Moore, and that's just what Ryan Poles does. The Bears are no longer paying Darnell Wright for potential anymore. They are paying him because he has already become one of the best tackles in the NFL, period. And that's great. And this, in a lot of ways, validate that Darnell Wright is one of the most important and one of the best draft selections by Ryan Poles ever. Keep in mind, we selected him 10th overall in the 2023 draft, where we traded down from that position where a lot of people wanted the Bears to get Jalen Carter. We were able to trade down. We got Darnell Wright, and we picked up Javon Dexter. Look at what Darnell Wright has done. He started 49 games in 3 seasons. He's steadily developed as a player and gotten better each and every year. Even while the Chicago Bears offensive line at times was nothing but ass, he was able to play really well, and he has now become a foundational player of the Chicago Bears team overall. Not just the offensive line, but of the team overall. And that's what you like to see, man. You like to see that in regards to he has earned this extension. This contract extension for Darnell Wright doesn't just represent what he can be anymore. It shows that he has elite production across the NFL. It's not just the potential, and he has, at a position that's hugely needed and regarded around the NFL. Second team All-Pro selection. He helped power one of the third best rushing attacks in the game of football as well. Our offensive line allowed the second fewest sacks in the league and ranked 6th in the NFL amongst tackles by his peers in the NFL as well. This is a guy that's still young enough to still improve. He's not necessarily done turning into the player that he's going to be either. He's just already become. And this is an investment really about Caleb Williams also. It's about locking down a player that protects your quarterback, helps elevate your run game, and when you have a franchise quarterback, you spend this type of money on tackles because you want to keep that guy upright, you want to keep him protected, and you want to keep that continuity there. Quarterbacks like continuity up front. It helps eliminate the questions. It helps you have a shorthand, and especially with the type of quarterback that Caleb Williams is, in which he's mobile but also likes to hold on and try to wait for that play to develop. When you have an offensive line that's already shown an ability to get that done with him, you keep those guys around. Stability improves your offensive playmaking, your offensive planning, and just how confident your play caller can get in varying up those plays as well. So protecting Caleb is one of the most important parts of this franchise right now, as well as having players that in the run blocking as well excel in that one. The whole goal of an NFL team is to draft, develop, and retain. That's what you should be trying to do with every one of your draft selections. You shouldn't draft a player and then 2 years later you're like, all right, we can just cut him. You should aim to draft, develop, and retain your own players. And that's what successful organizations do. And that's what the Bears need to do a little bit more at, right? You identified Darnell Wright's talent in the draft. You had a coaching staff that developed him last season. Listen, he developed with trash-ass coaching staffs under Matt Eberflus, which says a lot about his makeup as a team. And this front office has now rewarded what he's been able to do, the player that he's turned into, and that just sends a positive vibe throughout this team. If you go out there and perform and you do what you need to do, we're going to take care of you. This is a well-deserved contract by Darnell Wright. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. This is a well-deserved contract. So now go out there and continue to be the Bear that you've been, and we'll see. They didn't pay that boy $93 million guaranteed is wild, but earned. Right? It's not anything that I'm looking at and saying, why would you pay? Like, there shouldn't be a question on why Darnell Wright's getting this money. He's earned this money. He deserves this money. That's not a question. And I'm glad to see that not a lot of people are asking that in regards to that either. Been a Bears fan since Flow Model TVs. I'm loving everything the Bears are doing. Waited this for a long time for this. Bear down. Feel you, Nate. Feel you. I've been a Bears fan since I was born in '86, man. Haize, why you snap on the Lions fan? Like, because anybody who comes in here being disrespectful, I got your disrespect. Period, point blank. I got your disrespect. So that like, come correct, I won't disrespect you. I'm not going to lie, he did make some spectacular plays. Darnell Wright is the lifeblood of this, man. If you keep in mind, Darnell Wright in his, third year? Last season was his third year, right? Still stood out. When you have the protector of the year in Joe Thuney, you still notice Darnell Wright. And he still stood out in that, right? And so that you have that. Even with veterans like Drew Dahlman, Joe Thuney, and Jonah Jackson, Darnell Wright still stood out, and you saw the way that he performed. That's why the state of this offensive line is in a really good spot. Really good spot. In your opinion, who's next in line for an extension for the Bears? Oh, Caleb Williams. He's getting his extension next. It's probably why we're not seeing a lot of other extensions happen. But you get your protection, and then Caleb Williams is getting his extension in the offseason. There's just no doubt about that. That $93 million was definitely earned. Absolutely earned. Absolutely. I hope Caleb takes about 194 years with $170 million guaranteed just to be able to bring together this team better. We'll see. Caleb is about to get paid, especially if he has another big year like he did last season, and if he is more efficient, right? Especially if he locks in that efficiency a little bit more, and don't let him win MVP. Like winning MVP before you're in line for your contract extension could get very, very pricey. So, gonna go watch his highlights and see how great plays he have in one game. Very well deserved. Exactly. Like, Darnell Wright is so good, man. So good. And I know that, very often people don't really watch what the offensive line does unless they mess up, right? Like, you very rarely, even on a live broadcast, if they show a highlight, do they stop it and be like, oh, and look at this block to get. Now, sometimes they do. I'm not saying that they never do, but usually if during the live broadcast they're slowing down the game and showing a highlight of the offensive line, it's because the offensive line did something stupid. Like, that's typically the way that it goes. I remember when he blocked a guy with one arm and slammed him to the ground. Hey, that's a bad boy. Darnell Wright is a bad man, bro. That's a bad boy. Bad boy. Darnell was straight up walking mofos back, walking them down, bro. Walked them down, Darnell Wright did. And I still remember, shout out to Bobby. I got to go back to this and give Bobby his credit. Bobby was the one that called that. When that draft came in, and people were talking about the Chicago Bears trading down or whatever it was, Bobby called Darnell Wright at a time where nobody was. He was the first one before any major outlets, before anybody. But shout out to Bobby. He was the one that called the Bears drafting Darnell Wright, and it's been probably Ryan Poles' best draft pick so far. They signed that boy. LOL. Respect Darnell Wright. Bears fans rejoice. Iceman next. Absolutely, K. Absolutely. If Caleb gets paid over $50 million, Bears have to give up somebody like Jalen Johnson. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. That's not necessarily true at all. Especially when you have Diode Yingbo, you can opt out of his contract. You can opt out of Grady Jarrett's contract. There's a number of things that the Bears can do. You don't have to necessarily let Jalen Johnson go. I've had an episode on that, and I don't mean this to be offensive, so don't think that I'm trying to talk down to you, bro. But I had an episode on that. There's a lot of options that the Bears can do while extending Caleb Williams. Because keep in mind, the extension still won't kick in for another 2 years. It's an early extension. They're signing him to an early extension. So he still has next year already under contract, but he can agree to a contract at the end of this season. So the Bears have a number of avenues to still improve this team without giving up somebody else. So that's just, and again, not coming at you and saying you're crazy, but it's just factually incorrect what you're saying. And I've went over that kind of in detail. Best news I've gotten today, going through it today, Mark, the day my father died last year, so I know he's smiling. Shout out, first of all, praise up to you, brother. I can only imagine what you're going through. I haven't lost a parent, thank God, up until this point, but I can't even imagine that. So thank you for being here with us, and prayers up to you and your family. And you I say this to everybody, like, if you do get sad for a moment, keep in mind you may have lost the physical person here, but you gained the angel, and now he's looking out for you in a way that he could never have done physically here. So like, don't like it doesn't seem like you're sad, but like just keep that in mind. Anybody who lost anybody, just keep that in mind. But all right, y'all, I appreciate you guys so much. I was literally in the middle of cutting grass when this news dropped. So under this shirt, I'm sweaty as shit, but I'm about to go back to cutting grass. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode or a live stream. You can follow us at Shy Bear Central on every social media platform. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, chicagobearcentral@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. Bear down, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.